Evening, gents, ladies, as you're coming in, if you can see my screen, why don't you just raise your hand in the GoToWebinar app so we know that we are winning. That's not what I wanted to look at. There we go. Hands coming. Perfecto. Simon Brown here, as always, been joined by Njabulo and Nsibande. Really moderately short update from myself, because really all I have is one position, and it's NASDAQ, which almost got stopped, survived the stop. A bit of pain yesterday, but we seem to be off to the races. That close from Monday is an all-time high. So we are within like literally a couple hundred points of making a new all-time high. The same issue we have in South Africa with Tencent been rattling some of the tech stocks in the US, but results been coming out, Microsoft, Alphabet, Apple, and they are somewhere between 40 and 300% up on what they were corresponding quarter. So the results are coming massively strong. This trade sits in about $380 of profit. It did in that there, what was that? I'm trying to think. That was early last week, almost got stopped. And that stop was at about 240 or so. But the close saved me. We closed above the 21, so we were in biz. There's not a heck of a lot happening on the buyer side. Japan, there's Germany looking like it might trade that one. The S&P, which I got kicked out of there, and would have got kicked out again last week if I'd been in it. ZAR 40, which is confirmed. I'm not in that position, but it has confirmed the buy there. UK, you can see muddling along. Goes through, doesn't confirm. Maybe we get another one coming through. Not a heck lot happening. Europe, triggering today. Hold on, is that actually a trigger for yesterday? I thought it was just triggering today, suggesting that we might get another buy here. Although again, this is an index that has largely been going sideways since May. That's fine. Yeah, things go sideways a whole bunch, then they start moving. Bit of resistance overhead for the Euro Stoxx 50, but let's see how that goes. Australia, confirmed. I don't trade the Oz one. China, looking fairly ugly. France, Hong Kong will be, Hong Kong is getting pounded. Thank you, Tencent. I mean, that is the Tencent pressure coming through in Hong Kong more than anything. Spain also perhaps looking like a reversal. This is the one I'm eager to see what's happening. Russell 2000. We're not getting the sort of follow through. We've got the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100. They're both strong. Although running the numbers today, what is it? So Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Alphabet, and Microsoft are about 33% of the S&P and about 40-odd% of the US 2000. We'll see how this Russell goes and where it goes from there at some point. And then, of course, the currencies, fairly long trends happening there, but those trends have all been down. The cable trade looks like it might be turning. So we might get some action there. And then Japanese yen, again, trying, but actually just moving sideways. So not a heck lot happening on my charts, except that NASDAQ trade, which, look, at this point, loving it, nice profit. I said when I was on, was it 2 weeks ago? And I made the comment that, at this point, after swap costs and plus dividends, $365 in profit, losing trades about $30, $40. So that's 9 trades. And that's the beauty of this, is that you get that occasional big one and it pays for all the small losers plus some more. And that's always the plan and the hope there. But that's from me, short and sweet. Long NASDAQ, enjoying, hoping we get more all-time highs. If not today, we'll probably get it Thursday or into the weekend. With that, Njabulo, I'll hand over to you for an update, how you've done in what's been a fairly volatile week.
Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gents. Let me just do that. Yeah, it's been quite a week. A stark contrast from what we had last week. The last week was quite hectic. I got stopped a lot last week. And the only trade that I got stopped in today, ironically, was a trade that's in profit. Rather this week, got stopped on TFG. as it took out those lows there. But, it looks like it was a touch and go there. I'll jump back in around that 160. Looks like I was a tad bit aggressive with that stop loss there. So above that 169, I'll jump back in with a stop loss just below those lows there, around the 50-day exponential moving average. I'm getting a few new positions. There you go. I entered clicks. So we had, in a nice head and shoulders pattern there. I wanted to break out through that horizontal neckline there. And we had a nice breakout with a bullish engulfing candle there, retesting the support of that long-term trend line of that symmetrical triangle pattern there. So yeah, I'll trail my stop to just below that, right shoulder, just below that 50-day exponential moving average, looking fairly decent. And I'm looking for, if we can get through 277, I'll add again to the position. And I think above 277, we're off to the races on clicks. Capitec, I did get stopped on Capitec, but now the stock jumping back above that 50-period exponential moving average. I got stopped as it was selling off there. Nice bullish engulfing candle there around those support. So as it moved back into the higher box, I jumped back in with a stop loss just below that bullish engulfing candle there, just below that swing low. Capitec looking good. I'll add again as we get through the top of that box there as well. If we get a bit of reaction around that 1681 as it held as resistance, if we get a bit of reaction, I'll add to the position with a stop loss around that 1572. So if we can get through 1681, I'll add to the position. Again, I added on Aspen, finally broke out. Starting to move, pull the stop loss just below. Looks like it was a nice cup and handle pattern there, just below the handle there. Perhaps it could have been slightly aggressive, but I'm comfortable where the stop loss is. And again, if you look at the, if you look at the weekly chart, there's quite a bit of runway. In a sense, this could be trading like all-time highs. There's quite a bit of runway to the last time we saw any bit of support or resistance, that 245 level. So Aspen we could see a run to that 247 level, 245 level. If we can sit tight with that run, you would be handsomely rewarded. Another one looking nice is Implat. Commodities are just looking quite decent at the minute. Looking for that 30% run. Let me just remove all of these for now. But this nice head and shoulders pattern here. The stock breaking out, gap, having a gap and drive pattern. I entered on the next day, looking very nice. At the minute, I want to add to my position if we can get through that 1919 level, and I'll trail my stop to just below that gap there on Plats. The resources stocks are looking quite nice. I did enter on Glencore as well. We had that breakout yesterday here. Moving also nice gap and drive. It's been moving, aggressively. Glencore, nice bullish engulfing candle today, looking quite, looking like a gem. I also jumped back on Investec after the stock held the support level. So I wanted to close above that 50-day exponential moving average to see if it was actually holding that support. And nice, we had a nice bullish engulfing candle there. So I'm back in Investec, and now add to my position if we can get through that 58 Rand level. NetBank also added to jump back into NetBank as it come back into breaking above that support, holding that 50, staying on the right side of that 50-day exponential moving average. So if we can get through 174, I'll add to my position. MTN looking good, not so good today particularly, but if we can, I'm waiting for a close through that 108.80 level, and then I'll add to my position with a stop loss just below that 50-day exponential moving average, moving it ever so slightly on MTN. Mondi also looking quite good. Yesterday was a nice bullish engulfing candle. Also moving at all-time highs. I believe we are at all, not so much. We're quite close to all-time highs. So if we can get through 426, I'll be adding to my position and trailing my stop behind me. I'll be look to draw my boxes properly. Because 426 is still is quite a distance away. Richmond moving quite nicely, coming back to test the support line of the current box. So if we can get through the 188, what is it? Perhaps let me remove this volume indicator to give me a little bit more room. There you go. So if we can get through the 189 level, I'll add to my position and put my stop halfway through that box. Around that 180 level. And Bidvest also looking quite good. I entered as we broke back above that resistance level there after holding that 50-day exponential moving average as support. So if we can get through the 200 level, I'll add again to my position. With a stop loss just below that 50-day exponential moving average. Liking how Bidvest is moving, looking quite good. Looking quite good at the moment. Barloworld also holding that 50-day exponential moving average. So if we can get through that, I believe it's 108. If we can get through that 108 resistance level, let me see what's that price. That last high close there. 108.2 cents. If we can get through that level, I'll add again to my position with the stop loss just below that 50-day exponential moving average. Looks like the buyers have won the tug of war on Barlow. But what we could see is the stock coming back to retest that 50-day exponential moving average, kind of creating that head and shoulders pattern. But if we just get through that 108 level, I'll just add to my position. Pepco also moving quite nicely. I did get stopped out on that settle there. I had my stop just below those lows there. As the stock coming back to test that 50-day exponential moving average, I got tagged there. But that held quite well. So I jumped back into the trade. So if we get through that 20.90, I'll add to the position. It's a level I was waiting for to add to the prior position. But if we can get through the 20.90, I'll add again to the position. And I did get quite a decent profit there. Astral Foods also holding up to not too badly, still staying around that 50-day exponential moving average. So if we can get through that 160 level, I'll add again to the position and trail my stop just ever so slightly higher. And I believe that's transaction capital. I got stopped on transaction capital and that sell off there with quite a bit of decent profit. And again, the support looks to be holding as the stock broke back above the 50-day exponential moving average. So I just jumped back in. So if we can get through the 38.40 again, I'll add to my position. Today coming back above that that 50-day exponential moving average. So I suppose, if we can get through that 36 level, it's an opportunity to add, to continue to build this position with a stop loss just below those lows there. But I won't be that aggressive as yet. I want it above the 38.40 level. And last entry from last week was Richmond. As I mentioned earlier, it's broke back into a higher box. I'll be adding, to the position. And looking at the overall trades, I have quite a bit of number of trades at the minute. African Rainbow looks like I'll be adding to my position tomorrow at the open. So just show my stop to that level. So I'll be adding about 0.5% on African Rainbow. With a stop loss there, 260 looking quite good. And again, if we can get through that 303 level, if we can take out those highs, I will be now entering the new all-time highs territory, and I'll be adding again to the trade. I like it when a stock makes all new highs. And Plaza also looking quite good. We did look at that. Aspen, we did look at Aspen as well. Astral Food, Bilo, BHP. BHP ran away from me. I had meant to add to the position, but looks like I'm going to jump back into the trade with a stop loss just below that 50-day exponential moving average, around that break even on that second last trade as well. Bitcop, looking quite good. Still look like there's still quite a bit of selling there around that 322 level. So if we can get through that level, I'll add to the position, or rather at above the 331, I'll add to the position and show my start ever so slightly higher, because if I try to add there, that level is still quite a strong support. So, I'm not gonna risk it as yet. Bitvest also looking quite good, and I think we did touch on that. Keep it here, clicks. Discam, Discam has been flat for some time now, forming this flat head and shoulders pattern. I want it above that 32.53, and then I'll add it to my position with a stop loss. Just below that, that suppose flat trading range. If we can break out and move higher, I'll place my stop around the 31.46 level. Distel finally moved, broke that 72 rand level. So I'll be trailing my stop today to that 161 level, just below the traffic there. If we can get through 180, I'll be adding again to this position. Sitting tight on this trade is being quite rewarding. Exaro looking quite good. Looks like forming a nice head and shoulders pattern there. If we can get through that 183 level, I'll add to my position with a stop loss that 168. Because if I push my stop around that 168 level, the risk is now less than 1%, which means now I can add to this position. Glencoe moving quite nicely, breaking back above. So I'll be drawing my boxes to see where next to add to the position. Perhaps there's no need for that. Around that 71.66 level, above those highs there. If you can take out those highs, off to the races. I'll be adding to my position and trailing my stop, perhaps about just below that gap there, unless the market gives me a better level somewhere higher. Investec, I did touch on that one. Kumba is moving quite nicely. I'll be drawing my boxes to see if I should be adding to the position at the moment. Let me just quickly see. Yeah. So if you can get through that 767 level, because we're trading in all-time highs, and all-time highs can be quite aggressive with their movements. So if you can get through that 767 level, I'll add to my position and trail my stop, somewhere halfway to in this box. Life Healthcare, I'm holding that trend line support, that long-term trend line support. I'm holding it quite well. So if we can get through the 24.50 level, I'll add to my position with a stop loss just below those lows there, just underneath the 50-period exponential moving average. Momentum looks like it's breaking that 50-day exponential moving average. Let's see if that trend line will hold as support. If it doesn't, then it takes out that low there. I want to be out of that position and wait on the sidelines to jump back into the trade. Monday moving quite nicely. I'll be adding to my position above that. Jump back to the weekly chart. Above that, that high there at 426. So if we can get through that level, I'll add to my position and throw my stop loss behind me. In fact, perhaps let me just stack up the boxes and see. Yeah, it is quite a wide box, and I think the level remains the same. Yep, yeah, around that 426, 427 level. So if we can get through that level, I'll add to my position and throw my stop loss behind me. MTN, I did touch on MTN, Nedbank, Nepiroc. Nepiroc, it looks like it's holding that still there's a tug of war between buyers and sellers around that 50-day exponential moving average. So if we can get back above that 102 level, I'll add to my position with a stop loss just below the tug of war there on Nepiroc. I did touch on Pepco. SAPI is still battling with that 200-day exponential moving average. So if we can get through that 45 Rand level, I'll look to add to my position and look at the market to see where that stop loss would be. So at the moment, we'll be just below that low there, but I'll see how the market, treats the stock to place my stop. Looks like there's quite a bit of tug of war on ShopRite around that 50-day exponential moving average. So if we can get through that 162 level, I'll add to my position and and place my stop just below the traffic, just underneath that 50-day exponential moving average. Telecom looks like it's losing its momentum. So if you take out those lows there, I'll be out of the trade and I'll wait on the sidelines to see if the stock is moving or falling. Transaction capital, I did touch on that one. Truwards, it traded like it was going to trigger me today, but hasn't as yet. So I wanted above 60, what's this? Above 60.58. So if you can get it close through 60.58, I'll add to the position with a stop loss below, at around that 56 rand 40. And lastly, Woolly is looking quite decent. So if you can get through that 55 rand 78, I'll add to my position with the stop loss around that 50 rand 40. So that's it with my positions at the moment. So guys, I do a full market scan going through this entire list, every morning on the YouTube channel. So you can go check that out. So I try to do those videos daily, doing that full market scan there. I'm not seeing questions. If you have questions or chat requests, you can pop them up on the Q&A or the chat box.
No, not seeing questions. Njabulo, are you still in the top 40?
No, I got put out of the top 40 a while ago.
Yeah, and you haven't not back in yet.
Yeah, not back. It's still bearish on the laser system. The 30-day is still below the 60-day. So, and they look like they're crossing. And afterwards, I'll wait for that to revert back to the 15-day exponential moving average. And we're still pretty much range bound on the top 40. Bring the actual index. We're still pretty much range bound, but above that 63K level, we're looking good.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, we need something to happen. It's gone. What's that? March, we hit the highs. We shall wait and see. We just were chatting before we came on. Naspers. If Naspers gets back to that blue line, we're back in biz.
Yeah, I've been bearish on Naspers for a while, and I haven't been trading it because this chart looks like a cheese grater and it's way too volatile. And it's susceptibility to the 10-cent price action. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I agreed with you. And that's the chart that you've been. If you had any position there, you were short from at least April, if not even earlier.
Yeah, and with my once the 50-day gets below the 200-day, I stop being interested in the stock. In fact, my interest in the stock stops when it starts trading below the 200-day exponential moving average.
Gotcha. That's right. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So the right side on the on Naspers is short at the moment, and all mutual.
Question coming from Kalecho asking, how often do you pay VAT on a shares account? So you're only going to pay VAT on brokerage transactions. So if there's a fee for the transaction, of course, there'll be VAT added to that. And then if there's an admin fee, you would pay VAT on your admin fee, monthly fee, etc. And if you pay for live prices, there will then also be VAT on live prices. But otherwise, there's no VAT in the process, whatsoever. When I say otherwise, there's a whole bunch there already, although most of that VAT, which I mentioned, is fairly, it's 15%, but it's on, fairly modest amounts, transactions, brokerage, that sort of thing.
This Old Mutual doesn't look too bad. Old Mutual doesn't look too bad, but it's been flat since making that golden cross there. I suppose I'll start building my position above 13 Rand 60. Above that support resistance level there. So if we can get through that level, I'll start building my position ever so slightly. And once we get through 1480, we're looking good. And I think most of our stocks, especially the SA Inc. stocks, are just like a spring, when you have a heavy object on top of it. And the heavy object at that moment is Naspers and Process because of its size in the market. But once that that heavy load moves away, I think our market we're going to see quite a bull run.
Yeah, no, and your point is, I think, spot on. Is that there's a bunch of stocks that are if they just start moving, they're going to get properly bullish, but they need to start moving.
Yeah, and I seem to remember you mentioned that I think either the entire JSE or the top 40, half of it earns its income offshore. And if you look at this rand dollar chart, that head and shoulders pattern looks like it's playing out, even though we're still battling with that 200-day exponential moving average. And it looks like we've been staying above it for longer than we're not this past few days.
Yeah, so the stats around 60-ish, maybe 65% of top 40 earnings are not in ZAR, so beyond our borders. Yeah. That number will actually be higher these days because of the super profits we're seeing coming out from the miners. And of course, they earn their revenue in dollars. So it's even higher at this point in time right now.
Yeah, and with the weakening rand, I think the rand is strengthened enough. And I think we're going to see some rand weakness to around that 15 rand and some change.
You're a braver man than me telling me it's strengthened enough.
It's not good. It's the market saying that.
Well, yeah, no, fair point. The rand has blown out a fair bit. And the driver of the rand is the super profits from the miners. And as long as they stay in force, because in essence, we export commodities. So that's our balance of trade suddenly goes markedly positive. But where is it now? 1480. Yo, okay, looking ugly.
Yeah, and the resource miners have been coming up with stellar results lately. Super improved earnings, reduced debt, looking very, very bullish at the minute in every way possible. The chart picture is looking very good. The fundamental picture is looking even better. At that point, and the volumes coming in the market are also rising as well.
Yeah. Cool. Not seeing any more questions come through in Njabulo. Shall we park it there?
Yeah, cool.
Like everyone, you have a great evening. Stay warm, stay safe, look after yourself. Still crazy out there. At least it is getting a smidgen warmer, but still crazy. Everyone have a good evening. Thanks for coming through. We'll chat again next week.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.